Hi, welcome to God's Total Response, a missional approach to the book of Exodus. My name is David Nacho, and I am the Academic Dean of CETI. I'm also the course designer for this course. In this portion where we're studying the oppression that took place in the book of Exodus, I wanted to draw your attention to the opening of the story. The first two chapters in the book of Exodus to understand the ways in which God is already active, undoing the powers of death and oppression at play in Egypt. As you reflect on the text, I invite you to think about your local context with a sensitive heart for the ways in which God might be active defending the weak. The narrator does not give us much of an introduction to the story. He expects us to know and understand that what he is about to narrate is a continuation of the story of Jacob's family, which had focused on his son Joseph during the last chapters of the book of Genesis, right? The story in Exodus begins with the growth of an unwanted immigrant population. In the heart of a mighty empire, Egypt, life is abundant among the immigrants. They reproduce, the biblical text tells us. The conflict in this story begins when a king who, unlike us, the readers, does not know about Joseph, begins to portray the immigrants as potential enemies. The king appeals to the possibility of war to instill fear of the Hebrews, of the newcomers for him, among his subjects. You can almost hear him saying, "Get smart, Egypt," or "Make Egypt Egyptian again," or something like that, as he rallies his people against the immigrants. Pharaoh begins oppressing the unwanted immigrants by imposing hard labor on them in order to build the economic strength of the empire, which is located in the cities of Ramesses and Pithom. But life is still abundant among the Hebrews, in spite of the oppression they are put under by the king. The narrator does not mention the name of Yahweh here. The readers should know that fertility, life itself, is a gift from God. And that's how resistance takes place. Pharaoh's first plan failed. Next, Pharaoh wants to declare authority not just over the immigrants' labor, but even over their very lives. He wants to bring death at a most vulnerable moment, childbirth. He instructs a couple of women to kill all the baby boys. He thinks it's safe to let the females live, let the little girls live. But Pharaoh is outsmarted by these two God-fearing women, Ziphrah and Puah. God is on the move, but in ways that Pharaoh does not expect. Mad with hatred and with thirst of power, Pharaoh rallies all of his people, the Bible says, against the newcomers. Kill all the boys, but once again, let the girls live. Do you notice the irony here? Pharaoh wants to kill the boys because he fears the kind of power that is typically associated with them. He fears that they will grow up and become soldiers, right? But God is and will be using women to protect life, even girls to protect life. The wife of a Levite comes up with a desperate idea to save her son. You know the story. The older sister makes sure that the plan works. And it is a woman from Pharaoh's very own house who saves this baby boy, whom God will later use to show Pharaoh who really has authority over life. As we read about Yahweh's mighty deeds to defeat Pharaoh and his economic and military power, let us also keep in mind the opening of the Exodus story. Let us ask ourselves, how is God actively defending the life of the vulnerable and the weak among us? Thank you. It is a great joy to have you in this course.